So let's talk about the best food for gallstones. What causes gallstones? It's a situation where you have supersaturated cholesterol that's forming a stone. But just because you have high cholesterol does not mean that you're going to get a stone. It has to have another situation occurring, which is this: low amounts of bile salts. If you have a bile deficiency and a super concentrated amount of cholesterol, that's when you get the stone. We could reword this as the best foods for increasing bile production, okay? Primary bile salts are made by your liver, and then you have secondary bile salts made by your microbes. So you need friendly bacteria to also make bile, not just a healthy liver, but enough bacteria. There's a lot of natural things that can help you increase bile as far as supplements goes to reduce stones. One is choline. You can get that in a supplement. It just so happens that butter, grass-fed butter, has choline in it, okay? So that's one of the things that can help you to a certain degree. And just because I'm talking about butter, I'll talk about it right now. A certain amount of that butter is easier to digest because it doesn't have to go through all of the steps of digestion. I don't want to get into the mechanism of that. All you need to know is that grass-fed butter does have some choline that can help you, but also the grass-fed butter, being a fat, a saturated fat, can actually trigger the liver to make more bile. As compared to people that are on a low-fat diet, they are at a higher risk for getting a gallstone simply because they're not triggering the liver to make more bile. So they're bile deficient and they end up with the gallstones, not necessarily people that are consuming more fat. Now, just taking purified bile salts are very important if you have gallstones, because that has been known and used even by the medical community to help dissolve stones. If you want more information, I put a link down below. Also, omega-3 fatty acids as a supplement or in certain foods can help reduce the risk of stones. But the foods that can help reduce gallstones would be the bitter vegetables. Artichoke is at the top of the list. It helps your body make more bile. Endive, very important in increasing bile production. Okra, beets and beet tops, okay, very, very bitter, but it also has other things like choline that can help reduce the risk of getting gallstones. Cruciferous vegetables, okay. Dandelion greens, great for the liver. Anything that supports liver health or liver regeneration will help the production of bile, thus these vegetables right here. And we already mentioned grass-fed butter. Apple cider vinegar is good for the liver and it can actually help digestion. It also helps stimulate the release of bile from the liver, because in the digestive process when you eat and the acid is triggered, that acid sends a signal to the liver to start releasing bile. And if you have low amounts of acid in your stomach, that could be another reason why you're not releasing the bile as well. You may have heartburn or GERD, acid reflux, or definitely indigestion. That's probably the top symptom. Lemon and lime can also help increase bile production. Now, on the flip side, there are certain things that will cause stones, like high amounts of cortisol. So you'd want to lower cortisol. That comes from stress, as well as taking a cortisol medication, as in prednisone, cortisone shots. That can increase the risk of getting stones. High levels of insulin from doing high amounts of carbs and frequent eating can actually cause stones. So you want to lower the insulin, doing the keto diet and intermittent fasting. Estrogen has the capacity to create stones. And that's one reason why women that are pregnant have a higher incidence of getting a stone, as well as women that are on birth control pills or estrogen therapy. They tend to get more stones. And then we have a person that's on a low-fat, high-protein type diet. Some of those powdered, high-protein, low-fat, soy protein isolate type products to help you lose weight are very, very hard on the liver, and that seems to increase the risk of getting gallstones. And then the other thing that's very bad for the liver, that creates inflammation, that creates insulin resistance, is vegetable oils or seed oils. So you want to avoid the corn oils, the soy oil, the canola oil, the cottonseed oils for sure. All right, guys, I created a lot of videos on the gallbladder. If you haven't seen them, I put a few good ones up here. Check them out.